The King of the Ring tournament. Now, for most of you who have been following my podcast, know that your boy Nix is definitely a wrestling fan. Specifically, he's also a WWE fan. And I've been following WWE for many years. Ever since I was a child, me and my father and my grandfather, uncles, cousins alike, we would all watch wrestling, whether it was WCW, AWA, ECW, or even WWF, now known as WWE back in the day. One of the dope things about WWE that separated them from some of the other federations were some of the matches and the events that took place within that federation. One of those events was the King of the Ring tournament. Now, the King of the Ring tournament was one that was always kind of sought after by wrestling enthusiasts, or I guess purists, if you will, that really showcased the best of the best within a roster on a federation. It looks like this year, starting this coming up Monday on Monday Night Raw, WWE is bringing back the King of the Ring tournament. Now, this time it won't be in the form of a pay-per-view, but it'll be live broadcasted between Raw and SmackDown. Now, I'm definitely a fan of the King of the Ring tournament, but even as a child, I've always wondered, what was the point? You know? Like, yeah, okay, it definitely showcased who the best in-ring technicians, who could really go, who could outlast, who had charisma, whatever. But similar to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, what does the winner really get? You know? It's kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand bragging rights and having your legacy cemented in the annals of the Hall of Fame, or, you know, amongst your peers, or even in the wrestling community. But even still, if I was a WWE superstar, I'd want something a little more than a crown and a scepter for winning this tournament of tournaments, if you will. But in any event, King of the Ring tournament is next Monday. It's between 8 participants from SmackDown, 8 participants from Raw, and there is a bracket live on WWE.com. I have a bracket printed out here now, and I'm going to give you, I guess, my prediction. So in the first rounds on Raw, you've got Cesaro versus Samoa Joe, Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre, Cedric Alexander versus Sami Zayn, and The Miz versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin. Now, Cesaro, Samoa Joe, I give it to Joe. Joe has some momentum going for himself right now. In the midst of whatever is going on backstage with him and Roman, he cut a promo, let him know that he doesn't forgive anyone. He has a lot of fuel going right now. Cesaro's not really doing anything here lately, especially now that Sheamus is out, or at least on his way back anyway. So I see Joe picking this one up. Ricochet and Drew McIntyre, I mean, right now, Ricochet is still one of my favorites on the roster, but he's being wasted, in my personal opinion. But Drew McIntyre has been wasted even more, if not longer, than Ricochet. And with Ricochet being the hot new face that's being wasted, if you will, I see this one going to Ricochet. Cedric Alexander versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn has been the proverbial voice of the WWE universe. He's saying a lot of things that fans are thinking. And I think just for that reason alone, he'll go over on Cedric Alexander. I don't want him to. Cedric Alexander is the homie, representing North Carolina all day. But I still think Sami Zayn will win. And we have The Miz and Baron Corbin. Now, simply because I can't stand Baron Corbin. But even though The Miz is arguably one of the best on the mic the most consistent wrestlers there is. And whatever this feud he has going on with Dolph Ziggler, I still see Baron Corbin winning this one. So that's that pick. Now in the first round in SmackDown, we've got Kevin Owens versus Elias. Ali, or should I say Mustafa Ali, because I represent his real name. Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy. Chad Gable versus Shelton Benjamin. And Apollo Crews versus Andrade Cien Almas. I'm not going to call him just Andrade. Kevin Owens and Elias, you guys have been watching SmackDown lately. I think Kevin Owens is going to pull this one out. Actually, you know what? No. I think because of this feud he has going with Shane, somehow they'll find a way to make Elias win. So yeah, I pick Elias on that one. Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy had an incredible match with Roman Reigns this past SmackDown. So even though I'm a big fan of Ali, I don't see him going over on Murphy. Murphy's kind of rising right now, so I think it's his time. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, only because of the fact that Benjamin has done absolutely nothing since he has been back in the WWE. And Chad Gable, I mean, he's one of the most capable wrestlers they have in WWE, one of the most talented in that ring. I see them giving Gable this push in this one. And for Apollo Crews and Andrade, I mean, as far as fans go, there are a lot of people who are over with them, but Andrade is just white hot amongst the wrestling community right now, so I see Andrade winning that one. Now, back to round 2 of Raw. You got Samoa Joe and Ricochet, and you got Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin. As far as Joe and Rick goes, I'm sorry, Ricochet, I love you, bro, but I see Samoa Joe getting this one. Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin, I think Corbin will get his just due. And the voice of the WWE Universe, Sami Zayn, will continue on into the semifinals. Over on the SmackDown side, we have Elias versus Buddy Murphy and Chad Gable versus Andrade. Buddy Murphy will go over on Elias simply because I think Kevin Owens will screw him. As we know, Kevin Owens was very vocal during that town hall meeting stating how Buddy Murphy needs a shot. Chad Gable and Andrade, I think just the match alone, I am just salivating to see. But in the end, I think Andrade will pull out the win. So, in the semifinals, we've got Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn, and you've got Buddy Murphy and Andrade. I think Joe will take Sami. He defeated him pretty easily last Monday on Raw. I don't see why he won't do it again. And Buddy Murphy and Andrade, another one that I would love to just be a fly on the wall of the arena to see. But I pick Andrade to win that one. And in the finals for the King of the Ring tournament, we have Samoa Joe versus Andrade. 2 clashing styles. Only one will win. And my pick to win it all is Andrade Cien Almas. Those are my picks, ladies and gentlemen. If you have similar picks or your picks differ, I'd love to know what you think. Leave a comment. Drop something in the comments of the social medias. Blurs and nerds, freaks and geeks. This is DYSG, episode 19. Welcome once again. I am your host, Nix. Welcome to Do You Speak Geek, episode 19. I'm doing great. I hope you all are doing great. I hope you had a wonderful week. I'm sitting here recording live to you guys now. I got my coffee, got some Dunkies. Got a little bit of Dunkies with the French vanilla going on right now, and I'm having a good day. I hope you guys are doing the same. If you're here for the first time, welcome to Do You Speak Geek? Like I said, I am your host, Nix. If you're here for the first time, if you're coming back, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. You can subscribe at Spreaker. Spreaker is the home team for Do You Speak Geek. Be sure to like and subscribe all of the podcast episodes, including the one you are listening to right now. Also, you can listen to the podcast on all major platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, Castbox, iHeartRadio. The social medias, you can follow us there. Facebook at DYSG Media, Twitter at _ Do You Speak Geek, and Instagram at Do You Speak Geek. The YouTube channel is the place where you can find the Daddy and Dono show. Do You Speak Geek is on there. Please be sure to subscribe, like, hit that bell for all notifications so you'll know exactly what we're doing, and leave comments. We would love to hear from you guys. So with the bills paid, as always, y'all, let's speak geek. All right, jumping right into Source Wall, DC's pull list. We have the Event Leviathan #3 from the award-winning team of Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. It's DC's biggest whodunit in years. The world's greatest detectives, Batman, Green Arrow, Lois Lane, Plastic Man, The Question, and Martian Manhunter, have gathered to solve the mystery behind the true identity of Leviathan's leaders and the destruction of the world's top intelligence agencies. The Red Hood, however, is their leading suspect, and he's on the loose. Plus, the Silencer takes her shot. The mystery will unleash a new evil on the DC universe. We've also got Batman and the Outsiders #4. At last, the Outsiders take off on their mission to rescue Sophia from none other than the hands of Ra's al Ghul. But Ra's has other ideas for the quartet, and with the aid of Lex Luthor's mysterious gift, they are playing right into his hands. Jumping to Marvel's pull list, we have Loki #2, escaped from Stark Unlimited. Restless with his new duties after the War of the Realms, Loki seeks out the advice of the closest thing Earth has to a king, Tony Stark, the invincible Iron Man. Close enough, right? But it turns out old Shellhead isn't happy to see Loki on account of all the stuff he's done. Now the god of mischief, stories, evil, and chaos has to outsmart the cleverest man in Midgard or die again trying. Meanwhile, could Thor be hatching a mischievous plot on his own? And finally, Powers of X #2. Jonathan Hickman continues as Xavier sows the seeds of the past. The X-Men future blossoms into trouble for all mutantdom, or mutant kind. Another pick we have is Red Sonja #7. Acclaimed writer Mark Russell from The Wonder Twins and Second Coming welcomes stunning artist Bob Q for the incredible next chapter of the ongoing saga of Sonja the Red, Queen of Hyrcania. The invasion has taken its toll. Hostage kings consider revolt. Sonja will venture into the woodlands to seek help from the leaderless tribe whose leader she killed. So let's see how that turns out. In comics news, Grant Morrison's next story in the Green Lantern will rewrite reality. Now, while Morrison and Liam Sharp take a brief hiatus to prepare for the second season of their acclaimed The Green Lantern story, Morrison will team up with artist Zermanico for an ambitious and universe-spanning adventure taking place over 3 issues beginning in October, titled Green Lantern Blackstars. Now, per DC Comics' official description, across the DC universe, come November 2019, once familiar faces wielding lantern power rings now wear a different uniform and enforce a new type of galactic law. The Green Lantern Corps is dead. Long Live the Blackstars, in a new 3-issue miniseries, Green Lantern Blackstars by Grant Morrison and Zermanico. Now, you ask, who are the Blackstars? Answers will be revealed as the unstoppable Blackstars set their sights on the demons of Yismalt, Mongol, and a tiny backwater planet called Earth in Green Lantern Blackstars #1. The series, which launches on November 6th and features a tri-tip of interconnected covers by Sharp, will set the stage for the Green Lantern stories to come in 2020. Following the catastrophe of events by Green Lantern #12, Grant Morrison and Leah Sharp are scheduled to hit shelves in October. No Green Lanterns can be found patrolling their space sectors. Not a single power ring lights the darkness. What has Hal Jordan done now? I mean, I really think it's him. It's always him. Anything something goes wrong with the Green Lanterns or with the core or the emotional spectrum, I'm always going to blame Hal Jordan. He's my guy, but I'm always going to blame him. Hal Jordan, for some reason, is the object of his own destruction. I don't understand it. He's the greatest Green Lantern, yet he is the worst Green Lantern. Do not at me or at me. We can talk about it. We can fight. It's okay. We can fight. But you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Anyway, let's watch this. So, a bit of a sad news here. Sci-Fi's Krypton has been canceled after season 2. Aww. Yeah, and for those of you who were looking forward to that Lobo spinoff, that's also dead in the water as well. Hey, I'm just a messenger, okay? I'm just a messenger. So both The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline are reporting the cancellation, which comes just 2 days after Krypton's Season 2 finale aired. Low ratings appear to be the culprit, of course. The Hollywood Reporter notes average ratings for Season 2 clocked in at a mere 408,000 viewers, a significant drop from Season 1's 1.8 million average. However, there is still hope. There's still hope. We may see the show continue elsewhere. Now, according to them, Warner Horizon is currently shopping around Lobo to other outlets. Deadline, meanwhile, says sources claim Warner Horizon is also in talks to potentially move Krypton to the DC Universe streaming service or HBO Max. Makes sense that they would move to DC. I mean, with a lot of their original content that seems to be really winning amongst the fans who are subscribed to the service and those who are just fans of DC, period, it makes sense to just move the show there. I think it would fit right in well with shows like Titans and Doom Patrol and the upcoming Stargirl, as well as the now dead Swamp Thing and the future coming Harley Quinn animated series. So I think it fit in well there. Mortal Kombat, the movie, has several new castings. Now, Variety reports that Power Rangers and Black Mirror actor Ludi Lin has been cast as Liu Kang. Lin had recently been up for the role of Marvel's Shang-Chi, but lost out to Simu Liu. And also, according to the Hollywood Reporter, MCU veteran Tandabao Asano, who played Hogan the Grim in the Thor movies, is in negotiations to play Raiden, the God of Thunder and the Protector of Earthrealm. Supergirl's Makad Brooks will play Jax, while newcomer Sissy Stringer will play the assassin Melina. And as we also know already, the Ray's Joe Towson was also recently cast to play Sub-Zero. So it looks like the movie is shaping out to be pretty good as far as casting choices. I think it's a pretty good look. I hope this is not why Makad Brooks left Supergirl to do this movie. Maybe he sees a future in the franchise. Maybe he sees a Special Forces movie in the future with just himself and Sonya Blade, whoever they cast as her. But we'll see what happens. I mean, the last two movies, they were okay, depending upon who you are. But with talks of them actually using real fatalities in this one and being a lot more gory than the past two movies, definitely going to be an R rating. Let's see what happens. I'll definitely be there to go see it. Absolutely. Especially if they use that original theme song. That original theme song was dope. I don't care who you are. At me. Let's fight. Anyways, moving on. New G.I. Joe movie cast Henry Golding as Snake Eyes. Now, it's been quite a year for Henry Golding. Last summer, he starred alongside Constance Wu and Michelle Yeoh in the record-breaking Crazy Rich Asians. He then landed a role in Emma Thompson's buzzy holiday rom-com Last Christmas, opposite Game of Thrones megastar Emilia Clarke. Now it looks as though Golding finally has his chance to be the face of a blockbuster franchise, as he's set to play the iconic G.I. Joe character Snake Eyes in the next film based on the beloved action figures. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Golding is in negotiations to star as the titular role in Snake Eyes, the first G.I. Joe solo film. The previous two movies included Snake Eyes as a character, but he was simply part of the ensemble. This new Snake Eyes film reportedly tells the story of the character losing his father and seeking revenge by joining a ninja clan. It's likely that he'll be, they'll have more of his backstory in this film as opposed to his work within the G.I. Joe organization. The movie is scheduled to hit theaters on October 16th, 2020. I'm all for it. I mean, am I a little upset that Ray Park isn't in this one? A little bit, but let's just see what happens. I mean, I was a big Snake Eyes fan anyway, and if we can get some backstory, maybe even see, his time within the clan, and, we may even get Storm Shadow in there, I'm with it. Let's see what. I'll go see it. Maybe you might see it. Maybe you might not go see it. But I'll go see it. And finally, we have a new developing series coming to Disney Plus. Isn't there one every day? I mean, isn't there one every day at this point? That's how it seems. Ewan McGregor is in talks to return as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a Disney Plus series. Now, no other details on the potential series were available. McGregor previously played the character in the 3 Star Wars prequels, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. There had been talk for years that McGregor would return as Obi-Wan in a standalone film, but those plans were reportedly put on hold following the unsuccessful rollout of Star Wars standalone film Solo. Now, I personally don't see why that should have any bearing as to why Obi-Wan should get his own movie. I mean, if you're like me, I watch Star Wars for the Force. I watch it for Jedi. I watch it for lightsabers. I watch it for Sith. That's my big draw to Star Wars. But for some people, it's not. And I guess the fact that Solo didn't do so well saw a reason that Obi-Wan didn't get his own movie. But I think it's a bad decision. But I think they're making it up here. Now, the Obi-Wan series would be the third live-action Star Wars show on Disney+. The Necessant streamer has previously announced The Mandalorian from Jon Favreau, starring Pedro Pascal, as well as a series based on Cassian Andor, the character first introduced in the film Rogue One, with Diego Luna reprising his role from the film. I'm here for a Star Wars series with Obi-Wan, especially if we get some cameos from Darth Vader, if we get him, I guess, kind of keeping his eye on a little young Luke Skywalker. I think it'd be dope, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how they do it. Let's jump into Thumb Life. Now, Thumb Life news: Sega teases a new game. Now, it teased a new game that will presumably be revealed next week during Gamescom in Germany. Now, more specifically, it has launched a new teaser website cryptically titled HMKD, which is probably some type of code name or hint at the project. Meanwhile, the site features a mailing list and an equally cryptic background visual. Again, there's no exact word on where we can expect to hear about the mysterious game, but usually teaser websites like this are launched and promoted when an announcement is imminent. And given the fact that Gamescom is next week, seemingly confirms we will be hearing about this very shortly. In fact, Sega previously confirmed it revealed a new AAA game during the show. Now, for some of you who don't know what a AAA game is, AAA games are video games produced and distributed by a mid to major publisher, typically having a higher development and marketing budget. So basically, they're just pulling out all stops with this game. So yeah, expecting to hear about this soon, possibly on Monday during the event's opening show. As you may know, back in December, Sega filed a trademark for Humankind in Japan and other regions, which seems to line up with the teaser website's title. In other words, there's a good chance if this, especially when you consider that the teaser image doesn't really point to any of its existing franchises. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe a new game, maybe even a new console. Maybe Sega's getting back into the game with this announcement here. So we'll see what happens. Dark PC also came out this week. Dark has some frustrating stealth encounters and an overabundance of jump scares. For those of you who like jump scares, like Fast Night at Freddy's, are going to love this one. But those small blunders aren't enough to take away from the sense of wonder that comes from helping Lloyd navigate his nightmares. It's a great PC game. Go out and check that out if you haven't already done so. We are going to jump into a new segment right now. And this segment is called Geek Beyond Geek. Now, for this story right here, I created a new segment. I may do more of this in the future, but let's just talk about this for a second. NASA scientists stunned as unprecedented bright light beams from supermassive black hole. The discovery was revealed on Saturday by NASA astronomer Tuan Du, who tweeted a time lapse of his observation of the supermassive black hole in May. The time-lapse video clearly shows an unidentified intermittent light flashing over the course of 2.5 hours. Mr. Doe, an astronomer at UCLA, wrote, "Here's a time-lapse of images over 2.5 hours from May at the Kirkbride Observatory of the supermassive black hole Sagittarius A." The astronomer claimed in a series of other tweets that the flash could have been caused by another star passing by, thus changing the way gas flows into the black hole. Another possibility is that the flash occurred due to a gas cloud, which also recently passed close to the black hole in 2014, and is a delayed reaction to that event. Now, I've read enough comics and I've watched enough sci-fi that when I heard about this imminent light somehow escaping or beaming or flashing by this black hole, my first initial thought was, "Oh my God!" So what you're telling me is that we may be getting an alternate universe. What you're telling me is that we may be getting a multiverse. What you're telling me is that we may be getting some alien visitors. What you're telling me is that this might be the end of the world as we know it, and Nix feels fine. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep my eye on this story because I want the first interview with the first alien that arrives, and I want to hand him a DYSG t-shirt and ask him what his favorite superhero is. He may even say his favorite superhero is himself. But we'll see what happens. That's all I got for y'all today, man. Appreciate y'all sticking in. Appreciate y'all staying by me here. Again, this is DYSG episode 19. I am Nix. Thanks for listening. Also, by way of announcements, I have something cooking up for you guys. This is going to be for the fans who follow me on Facebook, for the fans who follow me on Instagram. I got something special coming up for y'all, so stick close. I'm going to announce it here next week on episode 20. So you want to be here to hear what I got to say. It could be something along the lines of you guys winning something, and then all you got to do is be a fan. So stick close for that. As always, you follow social medias, Facebook at DYSG Media, Twitter at _Do You Speak Geek, and Instagram at Do You Speak Geek. Follow the podcast, whether it be Spreaker, Apple, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or CastBox. As always, people, live to play to win, win to live. I speak geek. Do you speak geek?